For the Where in the World activity, you will need to use Google Earth and add two different layers to help you identify types of plate boundaries and earthquake and volcano activity. I've included a key in here to help you identify the type of boundary, in addition how to open the different layers. I will show you that in a second as well. The goal, as listed here, is to connect the landforms and geologic phenomena with the type of plate boundary. The first type of plate boundary you're going to be looking at is a divergent boundary. So when you first open Google Earth, you're going to want to go to Earth Gallery, search real-time earthquakes, and download this to Google Earth. Mine is already loaded. Step 2, over here in the layers, you're going to click on Gallery and activate earthquakes and volcanoes, which I have already done. The first one we need to find is a divergent boundary. And as you noticed in the video explaining divergent boundaries, in other words, plates that move away from each other, and in the key I provided for you, where you have red lines, that is a divergent boundary. These green lines in between represent transform boundaries or fracture zones in a divergent boundary. Step 1 for this is to take a screenshot to post into the worksheet. So I will do a print screen, go back to my document, and paste that image into the document. Step 2, define what a divergent boundary is. So here you would simply type in your definition of a divergent boundary. You would then record the location of your image. For me, this is the middle of the Atlantic. Describe the topography and landforms. In other words, what does the land look like? In this case, I have a mid-ocean ridge, and there are several others, but I'm not going to simply give you the answers. And for this one, earthquake and volcano activity, if you go back to Google Earth and zoom in, you'll notice, since I turned on my earthquakes, all of these different earthquakes show up. If you click on an individual earthquake, you can get more information, such as depth and time. You'll notice, however, that there are no active volcanoes. So when we go back to here, for earthquake activity, we would note that there are active earthquakes, and there are no active volcanoes in this location. You're going to do that then for the rest of the types of boundaries as well. After you watch the video on convergent boundaries, you need to identify an ocean-ocean convergent boundary, ocean-continent convergent boundary, continent-continent convergent boundary, and lastly, a transform or strike slip boundary. As usual, if you have more questions, feel free to see me.